What's up?
Welcome to our Red vs. Blue live stream.
Yeah.
Hey! Let's introduce ourselves.
about
I'm
hand
Miles
motion.
Luna, writer and director, and apparently looking at camera too. Who are you?
My name is Gray. I play Lucas.
I'm Josh Norris. I'm Machinimate.
Why did you feel the need to pick up the microphone?
I don't know. It feels like it's far away.
My name is Miles Gray, Josh Kyle,
Welcome
and
to
I
the team.
play the role of Joel.
Excellent. Awesome.
Angel.
And I'm Kyle Taylor, assistant director, and just do whatever.
Handsome man on
Handsome
set
man.
today.
Hello.
No offense to
Hi.
anyone
How's
else,
it going?
but
Yeah.
come on.
It's the new glasses, right? It's the...
It's the new glasses. So hey, guess what we're doing today? We're watching Red vs. Blue. Holy shit!
Oh, is
That
there a way-
sounds great.
Is there a way people can ask questions or something?
Yeah, yeah,
oh
good
yeah,
point.
totally. Yeah, we have the hashtag RVB13 begins, and I'm going to be looking at your questions and asking them throughout this entire live stream. So
I'm gonna ask
enjoy
Kyle a
that.
question.
So
Ask only the best questions.
let's go.
Only
What is
the
the hashtag
best.
again?
RVB13 begins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead.
I
and
will
start,
not read your question, Josh.
Start watching the episodes.
Joel.
So it's funny when we were first approached to do this, they were like, "Hey, so we had this idea to celebrate RVB 13 season premiere. Why don't we watch RVB 12 together as a live stream? It'll be really awesome." And I'm like, "That sounds cool." And they go, "Cool. How long is RVB 12? 2 hours and 47 minutes. Okay, so we're just gonna choose a few episodes then."
Few episodes. I even have the list right here. We have seven.
Yeah.
Seven
So what's our
episodes.
first episode that we're
Our
watching?
first episode is "Oh Captain, My Captains," episode 1.
It seems like a fitting place to start. So we're gonna go ahead and start watching here. And for those of you at home, we've actually created a playlist specifically for the stream, so you can watch along with us. Probably a few second delay. If you get it timed up perfectly, then props to you. That's fuck that.
What you have to do is wait for the lines roar and then put on Pink Floyd, and then
So, how's everybody doing today?
good, awesome.
This has been really exciting past few months. Today,
Miles, what's your favorite memory from season 12?
from season 12.
Or if you can get specific, this episode.
Oh, this episode. I think it's just the first shot is we wanted to make a point for the first shot of season 12 to be animated, but also set the precedent that animation doesn't always mean crazy fight. Sometimes it just means a really dumb visual gag.
Like
and
scratching a butt that costs more money to scratch a butt.
we pay animators a lot lot to get that
scratch.
butt scratch and to and to flip someone the bird.
Yeah,
and,
right?
It's money well spent in my opinion.
Awesome.
What about you?
Well, specifically about this episode is that we were still in the old office while we were making it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how many episodes in did we get before we moved?
We
It
did
wasn't
4
that
episodes
much.
in a PSA before we moved.
What was the first episode you guys worked on together?
Oh, holy shit, that's a good
wow.
question. That would have been season 10, right?
Season 10, maybe even season 9 while I was interning if we worked on an episode. We did the best of DVD before.
That's
yeah,
what it was.
that
Best
it.
of DVD was the first thing that we
It's
worked
funny too because if you go back and you watch something that you had worked on, like especially like intently, and it was like a long time ago, you'll immediately get like emotional like recall of like, oh, I remember and that room smelled and like it's funny.
on. Dude, I remember the first time I came to the any Rooster Teeth office, it was the Congress office. You were there, and I think you were working on the remastered version of the Blood Gulch Chronicles. And I just remember being like,
Jeez,
man,
that's a long.
Joel
God,
seems
was
a lot grumpier in person.
Was that real? You all the way back then?
Maybe. I know you were working on something
How
on a computer.
old were you back then?
I was, well, hold up.
Were you in
Maybe-
college?
I was doing bloopers for one of the shorts DVDs. I think it was.
I'll
Because it was you and like Brandon.
That'd be
who
like
did a lot of it, right?
I did like the HD remasters that I did. I think that was like 2008 or 9.
That would be about right.
Working together?
That'd be about right.
Was that the
Sheesh.
same
I think.
time we saw the season 8 fight? Or
No,
the
that
preview
came
of
much
it?
later.
Okay, that was
Did you
first-
graduate by then?
No,
Where-
I was. I was friends with Brandon, and he called me in one week, and he was like, "Hey, I remember you from TSTV. We need help doing this thing. Can you come in?" And I was like, "Okay," and I did it. And then he was like, "Hey, great job today. I'm gonna take you out to lunch." And then we proceeded to walk over to Bikinis, and he watched the Texans game.
Classic Brandon.
That was the first time I got to do a Rooster Teeth thing. All the other ones were, it was for not Gauntlet, for Immersion.
Yeah,
I
it was
think
Doom Immersion.
Yeah, it was after the Doom Immersion. That was a shoot.
How much time passed between that and when you said goodbye to you were working at, I think, GameStop at the time?
Oh, I had started. I was working at GameStop. it'd been a while since then. At that point, I had come in to help intern and work on season 9.
Okay.
And I remember, oh shoot, yeah, I was talking with Bernie. Like I was doing something. It was just me and Bernie. And to me, it was subtle. I'm sure it had the subtlety of like a fucking cannonball. But I remember being like, he said, "Yeah, we love having you around the office. You've been doing good work." I go, "Yeah, I'd love to be there more, but got to pay the bills with that GameStop job." And then he was like, "Well, I mean, we could maybe pay you something, if you can come just keep working for us." I was like, "Okay, sure, why
Dude,
not?"
Miles, can you do that look again, but like into camera, just so everyone
Hey.
at home gets it?
Be a lot better if I didn't have to get that GameStop money.
Cut to puppy.
I remember I danced in my car before I left the parking lot. Wherever we were, I think we went to go see Shannon McCormick do improv, is what it was.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like he left, I was like, "Bye." All right.
do you guys feel like you're like more efficient now, like in the season 13 versus?
Oh, dude,
Yes.
you have no idea.
Yeah, so much more efficient.
It was so
man.
Carrie and Bernie told us it was like it used to be if they could get like 5 minutes of machinima done a week or something like that, then they felt no, was it?
Oh wow.
I don't know, it was
Yeah,
something like that. 5 minutes done a week, then they felt
Yeah,
pretty good
5
about
minutes
themselves.
a week. That sounds right. Yeah, 5 minutes a week, and they were like, "We're doing awesome. We
Yeah.
are so far ahead right now. This is great."
And on
We
the machinima
are-
side now, you guys are knocking out more than an ep per week, right?
On average,
on a good
something
week,
like
yeah.
that.
It's-
Yeah, it depends on
That's
the
crazy.
episode and what's going on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the production schedule's also changed a lot too. We've got you and Cohen and Maggie kind of help facilitate the whole schedule, and now that we have to work a lot more hand in hand with an animation department as opposed to last season where it was just a few sight gags and stuff. There'll be times where we need to get something for episode 7, even though the rest of the crew's kind of working on episode 2 and 3 at the time, and a lot of jumping around all over the place. But we have software specifically to keep us in order. The shotgun software.
The brain.
Like that is, we need something to tell us what to do and when to work on it. That's how much shit we're doing.
The metaphorical shotgun behind you to keep you
Yeah,
working.
that's exactly
This is
what
this
it
is their
is.
first step in taking over the planet. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like person organization software.
Exactly.
But that was our first episode of Captain My Captains. What's the next one we got coming up?
The next episode we have is Training Days, episode 5.
Oh my God!
This is
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, so this was our first. This is the second time we got to spend a lot of quality time with the lieutenants. Let's go. We can go and roll it. The first one was episode 4, which was teaming with problems. I think where they had the runoff to see who was going to be team
Yeah.
leader, and this is our first official training session with the helmet cams that may or may not have come into play later on in the season. But this one all came from an idea that Matt had. In season 3, there was the Beaver Creek episode with the Zealots, the Red and Blue Zealots, kill the Reds, and that was supposed to be kind of a commentary on the multiplayer online gaming kind of stuff that was really coming to with Xbox Live and blah blah blah. I think. Well, no, I guess it was Halo 1. Anyways, it was some commentary on like multiplayer shooter gamers. And this one was, we wanted to see what's the closest thing that we could do to kind of make fun of Let's Plays. So it was like, yeah, Matt was like, we should do some sort of Let's Play gag. And that evolved into this whole like first person training episode where poor lieutenants just get the shit kicked out of them.
Miles, we have a question from Twitter from Cacti Queen, Cacti Queen.
Okay.
What was your favorite thing to write in season 12?
In 12? Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot, man.
Well, they said 12/13, but I mean, do you want to give spoilers out right now?
So the end of 13, right?
Yeah.
Season 12, I mean, this was actually a really fun episode just because it was so different from everything else that we had done at the time. But I think, gosh, I don't know. Yeah, this is up there. The episode 9 was a lot of fun. The one where we kind of flash backwards to see what Wash and Sarge and all them were up to.
Yeah. Get
Actually,
their side of the story.
you know what? I am going to say that this episode was the most fun to write because this was one where I specifically was writing for Ray and Michael, knowing that they'd be filling in.
B.H. McAllister.
Yeah, Butthole McAllister and what was the other? Baba Ganoush.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were the two names that they chose for themselves. I
Me
told them
and
it's like,
Private Baba Ganoush.
yeah, I was like, all right, Ray, Michael, you guys can be in this season. As saying thanks, just choose your character's name, and without dropping the hat, Ray goes Butthole McAllister. Like, okay, well, we're gonna just go ahead and call you BH for short. He's like, I mean, do what you got to do.
So what was your favorite,
Hey, you're the writer. I'm going to let you do it.
what was your favorite episode of season 13 to write?
One I'm pretty excited about.
Didn't fall for it. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was also tricky too from like a sound design point of view. It was like we tried putting an extra filter on these guys when it was in the first person cam, but then that made the whole thing sound weird. and-
Probably just made it sound like season 2.
Yeah, it's just-
You got on a cell phone. and
Shout
then
out to
talked
Caboose in the
yourself
back. That's one thing. So look, I don't know if this has been said really publicly, but Kyle and Josh, you guys are now you have taken over Machinima for season 13. You guys are our Machinima leads, and one thing that I love about the stuff that you guys do is y'all will put in gags in the background that I never thought of. For instance, a few shots back, when Palomo's looking around and talking to Bitters and Smith, you see Caboose walk into the vehicle bay,
Yeah,
and he's not really
that was
doing
fun.
anything.
Yeah.
And then he looks to a tank, and you just have this moment of him just being like, "Hey, this looks fun." And like it never pays off or anything, but there's that, and then the
I thought
Doesn't
that
pay
did
off
pay off
yet.
later.
doesn't pay off. Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
There's a whole sub story going on back there, I'm sure, right? That they're writing.
Yeah, Joel, can we sidebar after this? Talk about scripts. You're late on your latest episode, but we really need to get that Caboose subplot in there.
It's like that thing from How I Met Your Mother, where like a couple meets, ages.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. There's like
married,
this whole
yeah.
story about the extras in
Yeah,
the
but
background
they're
of the
just in
bar.
the background.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
It's all about layers and depth.
Did you hear about the thing they did on Community, where the Beetlejuice gag?
Uh-uh.
They say
Yes.
Beetlejuice
Oh,
three
great.
times in the series of Community, and the third time that they say Beetlejuice, he just walks by in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
No one points it out,
That's
but you
It ends
just
up
see
being
him.
the Halloween episode, so it makes sense in context. But yeah,
It was
That's
amazing.
I'm hoping that there's going to be an episode where basically you just go ahead and take all of the ad libs from the recordings and string them into a narrative.
Oh, that's pretty much all of
That's-
Sarge's lines.
you
how
think
it
he's
is.
joking, but he's not. He's really not.
That was Great Monopoly's Top Hat was
Yeah.
one of I think my favorite ad lib of Matt's from this season.
I'm trying to think of ones, but I can't remember what made it in the episode and what made it in bloopers because there's so many. There's
We
like,
had I think Joel, you had my favorite blooper all season. You just fucking went on this crazy rant against strawberry ice cream.
I had a couple of tirades and for years actually, and not a single one of those tirades has made it, which is probably for the best.
Well, you have another one. We can't talk about it yet for this season, but it has to do with being a disappointment. You went on and on about that. That'll definitely be on the DVD and Blu-ray.
Speaking of Joel, we have a question on Twitter. Leah S wants to know, does it take a lot to get into character as Caboose?
It depends upon how much I've been drinking that day, but no, not really. I mean,
It's like
just
proportional, like.
I mean, for me, I just have like a keyword that I just like I know that he says because like sometimes I deviate from his, which I want to do on purpose to like whatever. But what about you? What do you guys do? Like Gray, like you pulled that character off.
Oh yeah, I
beautifully.
got for
was a-
Lucas. I guess the joke was is that the very first time or two was like a whiskey and a smoke, but these days it's really easy to slip into character for him. You just drop the voice and get all serious. Well, I'd say what
he
you
was like
think
the-
about all the production challenges. If you think about like everything that you're having to work on the show right now, then I get really tense and it's great.
Well, it's funny because I was going to say like your character sounds like the most grounded
Yeah.
character, which I guess goes in opposition to your production responsibility.
Yeah, right. Of course, yeah. And then Doyle is I love Blackadder, so it's really easy for me to also start quoting Blackadder lines.
It's a lot of fun. For me, for Felix, his voice isn't really that different. You'll get a little lower and a little breathier with it, but it really all comes across with how you say things, and you have to say things like a dick.
What's the most amount of like episodes you've recorded in one session?
5 or 6.
How long did that take you?
It takes me a long time.
Does it?
Yeah. Well, it varies from episode to episode, but like I'll get the first time we had to do it for this season. Normally I'll be in the booth saying that was our take, that was our take, that was our take, and I tried doing that. I'd do 3 reads and I go the second one, but then that started fucking me up, and I couldn't. I started questioning.
That's
like,
the problem. You can't
ooh.
judge while you're doing it
No,
because
I
like that's
could
like
not.
that's a key thing, right? It's like this is why most people can't.
I guess,
can't
yeah.
do it is because you're judging yourself while you're doing it. It doesn't work.
It completely fucked me up. So
Yeah,
then,
and it's gotta be hard because it's like you wrote the line, you know the intention of the line.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to judge yourself,
yeah,
and
on the
then you listen to
delivery of the
line,
attention, and yeah. So now we'll do it, and I'll just do all the lines, and then I'll go back into the booth with Maggie and Clayton, and we'll go through and be like, okay, that was the one, and he definitely sounds like a douche there. Got to use that. The most fun I ever had though was during season 12. We were what episode are we on that right now? By the way,
We're on
8.
episode 8.
oh,
is
Thin
third
Ice.
in our list, yeah.
Oh, this was. You know what?
It was
I got-
about to lead into it, so I wanted you to keep talking about Felix. Yeah.
I got to change my answer to the question about what was the most fun to write.
Yeah.
It was the revelation at the end of this episode. I was thinking about that while we were writing season 11. And I was like, this moment is going to be so fucking awesome. So this is actually, I think, one of my favorite moments to write was
Oh yeah,
the
I'm
revelation
also
at the
reminded
end.
of the story you like to tell about setting up the shot at the end of this episode, right?
What was it? I don't remember that.
It's they're at the snow base.
Oh,
And yeah, should
how
we
it
save
goes from... Yeah, oh yeah, we can wait till we get there. Yeah, but that shot was like...
Yeah.
That shot and that moment forever had been in my head, and finally getting able to get it on paper and then get it on screen was just the most rewarding thing ever. Christ, I need a haircut. But back on the voice acting thing, one time I did a bunch of Felix lines, had to go and do something for Machinima, and then we had to do some pickups for Jean, for Ruby, and I was in a pissed off mood, and I had just come from doing Felix, who's vulgar and terrible and a mean person, and the first line I got in, and I was like, right, let's fucking do this shit, god fucking damn it, with the goddamn Xbox Live, I'm gonna just, god damn it! Okay, so the White Fang, and it was just...
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, it was just like the most profane slurs of everything just coming out of a little dorky Jean's voice, and that was...
I want to see that, John. I want to see that.
Nobody
animated.
should ever see that, Jean.
That's John after like 3 whiskeys and a shot of tequila.
You know, so Matt, Kyle, you play he's a more of a support role, but he comes in every
Yeah.
now and then. You get to play Matthews.
Matthews is fun.
He's not a member of the lieutenants. He's like the in between. He is.
He wanted to be so
He
bad.
wanted to be so bad. But I love
Captain Griff.
That goes back to like the stuff that you and Joshua do, where you'll come up with like an extra joke for the Machinima in episode 4 of season 12. We have a bit where Matthews yells from a distance. What is it? It's I can always praise and
Yeah.
pamper you, sir,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And instead of having him like kind of run up from behind, you had him way in the back on top of like this huge column.
Yeah, I was at the top of the
and
stairs,
Yeah,
and
he
he just
pokes
pops
out,
up.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
I will love you forever. And tells him to fuck off. He goes, okay.
Which is funny because he normally does that during production, also, right? Like
Pretty much.
then they're back in the cubicles.
Oh, Josh, I think this is the moment where everybody around the world realized how much of a treasure you were to Red versus Blue.
Oh no, this is terrible.
This is
Shot
the
skills.
best.
Oh yes.
And this
awesome.
is this is Patrick doing his best Captain Flowers impression for our federal soldier. Everyone thought it was Ed for a while. We're like, no, it's just Patrick doing the really spot on. But
He's
here
a
we
long
go.
lost relative.
Still so stupid.
From the talent that brought you Lawyer Bot.
Yeah, Lawyerbot was the first one I
Lawyerbot.
think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't act so
Are you getting
disappointed.
what Joel was talking about? Are you having flashbacks to the moment where you?
I'm just
slaved over
thinking as a
Photoshop?
viewer, I want to see more of the snowman
There's
characters.
a
happened to them?
Photoshop gag in this season. I cannot wait for the public. Oh my fucking god.
And I always liked the animation that Chris did on Simmons in the background, where he's just dusting snow off his butt.
Yeah.
And any opportunity we ever have to go back to old Halo games is always fun too. It's so stupid. Who would have thought Griff is great at snowmen?
Do you guys still? Is the bump still a thing?
Oh Jesus!
Oh my
no.
god.
Josh, Kyle, would you guys like to talk about it?
So,
Should you explain what the bump is to anyone who doesn't know?
so the bump in Halo, how many Halos has it been in so far?
The airborne.
We're gonna explain that in a
It's
minute.
been around since 3.
It's been around since 3. What it is, it's something in the physics engine. Like, it needs to like decompress the characters every so often so that they don't fly off like they used to in Halo 2 when you hit a bump or whatever. So every once in a while, all the characters will just reset and just go bump, just like really quick. You won't notice it because it's like a frame long, 2 frames long,
And because we cut it out.
and because we cut it out. But there are some maps which are just awful to machinima.
Abandon, which we were at forever.
Yeah, it's like it had all the vines and shit, and then like we had so many characters there. We had all the characters there.
Love you.
So it's hard enough trying to shoot a scene where there's a lot of talking going on with a lot of characters, and then it's worse because those vines for some reason made the bump exponentially worse.
See,
Like
it's easy whenever you have a flat plane to machinimate on. Abandon just had vines and stuff and
Hills
trees and everything everywhere. So
We made a vine where Simmons got stuck in this crazy bump loop that we'd never seen before. That looked like he was going. We made a vine.
That's
out
so
of
you
that.
just have to write it in
Yeah,
somehow.
at that point, either they start dancing or someone's having a seizure. That's how we write it in.
But it's hilarious for it to be sort of, quiet around the office and people are intently focused on doing their job and all of a sudden, God damn it!
Yeah.
Just, you don't even have to look around, you know what happened.
it got really awkward because we introduced Dr. Emily Gray, last season.
Oh, right, which
yeah.
has also caused no confusion whatsoever.
So there'll be times where you're like machinimating and she'll bump, or you'll like mess up you'll turn, and like another thing that happens is when they turn, they'll raise their guns up. And so it completely ruins the take when you're trying to just do a quick turn to somebody. So you'll turn too far, they'll raise their guns, and it'll be like, God damn it, Gray! And Gray's like,
What did I do now?
yeah.
Oh, we're at that moment. We're at the big bum. This was one we barely got the music out in time. Nico and I were working on the song at 4 a.m. the day before release, just trying to get it just right.
And it was only the one time you did that, right?
Yeah,
normally
sure.
you're
we
on top
never
of it,
had
right?
to do that. Man, so many people were asked to do the impossible for season 12. Oh, here we go. And
Hey.
God, it was so good to see them again. It felt like I hadn't seen my friends for such a long time.
I remember just the relief that you had when you finally hit that point in the script. You can have the gang talking to each other.
Oh my God, yes, because it's like, yay, we get to use Sarge and Donut and these guys again. It's like someone took away your brushes, like half your brush set, and then they're like, hey, but still make a good painting. Like,
Blue's a legitimate color for.
Blue's a
of
great
blue,
color.
slowly.
Blue can make some beautiful paintings. What are we going to next?
We are going to episode 10, Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah, gotta love those titles. That that was one where after the episode came out, everyone was like, oh, because Felix uses a knife and Locust goes invisible. Before we get too far away from the excellent snowmen, I remember one of the things that we had to constantly work with you on was telling you to dumb down a lot of your Photoshop gags.
Yep.
Make them look worse.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
was
your
a
stuff was
constant
great.
note.
The interior of the gas station where Griff goes walking through to get a Slurpee, that was made
Oh, yeah.
entirely by you.
Yeah.
And I remember that was the day where I was like, we should probably never let go of Josh. You walked in. I told you, I was like, hey, we just need this thing. It's got like the fridges and like some stuff. You go, okay, cool. And you got up and you walked into the break room, and I heard you take a picture, and you walked back, and I was like, what are you doing? And you're like, I just got a picture of the fridge. I'm just gonna make that thing now. I was like, oh, okay. And then, sure enough, you created that entire set in Photoshop.
I like to take pictures of stuff around me for like textures and whatever, so it's really resourceful and useful.
It was really cool. It was really, really impressive. We had a similar situation in the audio department for this season. So this was the first time where we weren't actually having to film and edit and do the sound. Thank God,
so
because
nice.
fuck footsteps.
Yeah.
We can pay people to do that now. Beautiful people like Clayton DeWitt, who mixed our whole season and did. God, he worked on the DVD and Blu-ray mix in like 3
No
days
time.
or something.
Yeah.
Again,
It was
had to
no
do the
time.
impossible, and he knocked it out of the park. But in episode 8, we have that shot where Simmons says, we looked at just how far away the holding cells are, and there's a big that goes back to the Blood Gulch Chronicles. And I put that in there, and when I go do the audio approval, I'm sitting there, and he gets to the part where it goes, like the camera does the big pan thing, and it was like this. And I looked at him, and he goes, yeah, it sounds a lot better than that temp thing. I go, yeah, so I need to explain a few things to you. Sometimes we have to make things stupid on purpose for the sake of tradition.
But he just like bowled over the rap air horn, had no problem with it.
Oh,
right?
God.
Yeah.
When did that start?
That
the air horn
started
that we
because
used?
we were doing sponsor play in Halo 1. And I made a stupid like MLG montage. So I just like used the rap horn like too much. I used it too much. But it became a thing for a week among us, and that happened to be the time that we were making the last episode. Or which episode is it that it's in? Is it- yeah.
Of this? Did
Is
we use
it's
it?
in-
It was an
it's
8.
8. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an 8. Yeah.
That's the lunch. That's the lunch
Yeah,
alarm.
It's a lunch alarm. Yeah. I don't know.
This was a cool scene to do from a music standpoint. So Nico, I think, has grown a lot as a musician, and it was fun coming up with themes and instruments that we use for particular characters. And one of the things that we introduced for the Space Pirates was the SH-101. He had this kind of automated, like weird Tron-y sounding thing. And then we were blending that with the Federal Army of Chorus are typically accompanied by a distorted electric guitar. It's a da-na, da-na, da-na. And this is the first time where we added in a few strings in this episode, and you take that really aggressive da-na, 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 but then combined with the 101, and then the strings suddenly it went from being this hyper aggressive militant sort of sound to you felt really bad for these guys as they just get turned to ash.
Now, Miles, this was the moment I was talking about earlier where you got this shot with the entire group of all the soldiers, of all the reds and blues, and you were so confident that you got the shot.
So we were filming this. Fuck, when were we filming this? It wasn't much earlier than RTX, which I'm scared to admit. But
Was it
we
before or
had
after?
we had our Xboxes on for probably 2 weeks straight, because
is something we
setting
don't
up
do a
all
lot.
these characters was just, it took so much time, because whenever we have the shot facing space pirates, that was a completely different setup from when we have a shot facing the reds and blues, because we ran out of characters to use. So setting that thing up was just a bitch and a half. And yeah, I thought that we got everything that we needed and everything looked great. And I was like, oh yeah, finally we can turn off these fucking Xboxes, woo! And to celebrate, I got in a Warthog and I ran over everyone on set. I was like, yeah, fuck you. And as soon as we close it out, we go back and we watch it and I go, Tucker's holding the wrong gun. I hated myself.
That's
I hated
always
myself.
the worst deal in the world when you have to have a tremendous amount of guys on one screen, because it's either A, got to get a bunch of Xboxes and a bunch of controllers and a bunch of this, that, and the other thing, or you do a plate.
Yep.
And either one's
extra
a
work,
nightmare.
too, yeah.
And you learn that lesson one time, where you do the big thing where you set up everyone and you're like, haha, we're done, let's try whatever. I think I did that once and then never again. I've kept
one time.
boxes on for like weeks after
Yeah.
the thing already shipped. You know what I mean, just in case. Just in case.
Man, that's one thing too that I'm always telling Kyle and Josh. I'm so sorry, because yeah, at this point in the series, not only are all the reds and blues always together, because they're not on opposite sides anymore ever since season 11. So now we have like 10 characters or whatever right there, just with the reds and blues. We also introduced a new faction of bad guys and 2 other factions of people that live on this planet. And now the story for season 13 is, now that those armies have combined and we're all living together, what are we going to do? Which means extras all the time.
all the time, everywhere, in
I'm
every
so
shot.
sorry. I love you. I love you so much, Josh and Kyle.
I always feel
So much
bad.
fun.
I always feel bad whenever I see people working. It's like, hey, I need you, and you for a shot, because like there's so many moving components to like just a basic shot. Like in our, yeah,
Yeah.
Like, I don't even get, like, do you guys use wireless controllers?
yes.
Yeah.
See, I could never do that, because it was just like, that's one more thing you have to deal with, where it's like, okay, we're ready to shoot. Oh, 3 of the controllers have turned
yeah,
off.
we're
But now
we keep
the-
running out of batteries.
The opposite
By the way, we
problem.
need more
Yeah, we need more batteries. Gray, we need more batteries.
On it.
The other problem, though, is when you have too many wired controllers, you're like, all right, time to pick up Griff, and then you pick up Griff, and then all the other people fall on the floor.
Oh, it's a serious deal. Yeah, it's like you got to keep them, like, if they fall over, it's like, and then grenades go loose, and it's
Yeah, like if a controller falls, like everybody freezes just to see what happened and like what it's like. What do I got to fix? What do I
Most
gotta
of the time,
fix?
someone has been punched to death.
Yeah.
Like, that's always the thing. It's, whoops, and director's dead. Okay, let's get those guns
You're
and
lucky
bodies
if
out of
it's
the way.
director because you just have to bring him back
Yeah.
in. If it's a character in the scene, god damn it.
There was one shot we were trying to get for episode, I shouldn't say that, one of the episodes this season, that had Sarge doing some punches very close to camera.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we the director died a lot
yeah.
when I was trying to show you, like, look, just get it like this. Oh, okay, well, let's bring the director back in, but get it like, fuck, okay.
That reminds me of Freckles from season 11.
Oh, that was our,
man.
I think that was our angriest moment in 11. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, like in episode, I can't remember what episode it is, but in season 11 when Freckles comes in, I think it's when Caboose was going to have him do Shake for the first time.
I think it's episode 8.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
he wants to show
8 or
everybody Freckles. He's brand new. He wants to show him off, and he's going to show him the trick he taught him, which is Shake, which is the mech's like foot
Melee
stomp,
attack,
his
essentially.
melee attack. But in Halo 4, sometimes when you melee, if you're just like, there's a lunge that'll bring you closer to a character so you can actually kill them in case you're just like right on the edge of like a 3-foot boundary or whatever. That's magnified in the mech by a lot. So we thought we were safe. Turns out we weren't because we had set up the characters like that's like
It was
truly,
when
this is
Tucker,
far
Tucker
enough
and
away.
Wash
It
were
was
shouting
Tucker
at
and
each
Wash.
other. Caboose was next to Freckles, and Director was just far enough away to
Yeah.
capture everything that was about to happen.
Exactly. And then we have Freckles do his melee attack, and he just like, I don't know, moonwalks across half the map and just completely obliterates Tucker and Wash. And
That was
yeah.
that was one of our first late nights that season. It was like 2 a.m. We've been trying to get that shot a million times, and I think that was one of the few times in the history of me working on Red vs. Blue that I threw a controller, where I was like, you know what? We're done. We're going home. We will get this shot tomorrow. Fuck this shot. And then the next day I came in, and we watched that take, and we laughed so hard. In hindsight, it was hilarious. At the time, I wanted to fucking choke a bitch.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
No, it's like, it's the worst trying to do comedy at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah.
because nothing's funny. You're just like, I want to go to sleep. Nothing works. This take, fine. Take 8. This is great. I love it. Awesome.
Hey, who's that black chick beating the shit out of Felix? That's cool.
It's Tex. Don't you watch the show, Miles?
This
Come
was
on.
this was a fun episode too, just because there was I was worried that people would figure out Felix's betrayal way ahead of time, but there was a lot of people that didn't see it coming, and I'll
There
always
were a lot of people online that were mad.
yeah. I got death threats.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
got
you
death
did.
threats for Locust and Felix.
Not
for like
just
a
the
month.
usual ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were weird. They were really weird. Yeah, they were like, until Locust and Felix are taken out of the show, I will find you. And I was like, okay,
Thanks, Liam Neeson.
13-year-old from Wisconsin. He got weird though. I think we had his Twitter deleted. Oh yeah, and then we have our return of
This is the
not only
map.
Carolina.
This is the
yeah, this is the
fucking
map.
God damn it.
You fuck. Pump. Wasn't expecting that. That one was fun. All right, what do we got up next, KT?
Long time no see, episode 11.
Hey! This
a
is our
crazy
fully
one.
animated episode of the season, and
Oh,
that was you will remember this one very well.
Wait, before we
do you
get
want
into
to talk
it,
a little bit? Oh, what's up?
But because I wanted to ask questions because I haven't been asking questions on Twitter. Marv234 wants to know whatever happened to Simmons' other lieutenant.
Oh, pink one?
Yeah.
Ah, she's just doing her own thing.
Jessica?
She's just like Matthews. Yeah, Jessica Negri was our pink lieutenant, the volleyball girl. Yeah, everybody. So let's see. So Rogers and Cunningham were killed. Matthews was rejected in favor of Bitters. Jensen was picked over volleyball girl because a volleyball girl scared Simmons.
She was too hot.
She was too hot and it made him uncomfortable.
He can't
whereas
talk around
Jensen was much more relatable and she was just absolutely a sweetheart. Who are we forgetting? Oh, I guess we never saw. In one shot, we see Caboose's other lieutenant. He's got the cobalt stripes.
Yeah, we don't know what. Yeah, we don't know what happens to him. Really.
That's season 14. It follows the adventures of Chuck, the lightish blue lieutenant that never was, on a path of revenge to take out his former captain for not choosing him over Smith. Spoiler
I will
alert.
find you,
I will break you.
Smith and Caboose. I'm coming for you.
Liam Neeson will be playing him.
But like, what percentage of animation in 12? Words coming out wrong. Like season 13 has
A fair amount more.
Fair amount more.
Yeah, it's
almost like season 10
It's
levels.
closer to season 10 in scope. Yeah, we have a huge team of super talented people.
Yeah.
Just a few meters that way.
Shout out to the whole gang.
Shout out to our animation crew and our
we went
compositors and
from-
editors. We love you.
We went from 2 animators last season to how many now? A lot.
Ray,
8, 9.
Dustin,
Yeah.
Sean, God,
And that's
yeah.
not counting the compers and
Yeah.
our lighting artist, Erica.
Yeah, Erica. She made things pretty. Yeah, this season looks really nice. I'm really proud of it.
It's awesome.
Everybody that's worked on it should be super proud. If you guys are watching, now get back to work. So let's go into episode 11. This one was conceived and written by the one and only Bernie Burns, who came up to me towards the beginning of the season and was like, hey, I have this idea for a scene. Do you mind if I write it? To which I responded, absolutely, go for it, please. So he wrote this whole security room sequence, and then I tacked on the stuff about Charon and stuff when in the desert area at the end.
Speaking of Bernstein, did people know that he wrote the teaser that went out?
We talked about it on a few interviews, but it hasn't been made on like official thing. Yeah, Bernie wrote the teaser trailer
Yeah.
that came out. That when I got to read that script for the first time, gave me goosebumps. And that he had the idea for it back during season 12, and we talked about it. And I was like, I cannot wait for this teaser to release. It's fun and it's making fun. It was funny because I figured the reaction would half the reaction of the trailer would be, what? No way, not really. Like that's not gonna happen, right? And the other half would go, he's already died like 12 times though, so whatever. Do you want to talk a little bit about the production on this one?
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
you
sure.
helped a
Yeah,
ton
so
with
you
this.
know, whereas 11 was completely machinima because you just want to hit the reset button and get back to roots, et cetera, and then 12, you guys were starting to work in the occasional animated gag, but then there was the one high concept episode that was going to take place in AI time. And so we had, I guess, Chris Dyke and Chris Peterson were the animators that handled all of it. And then schedule was kind of tight. It was getting down to the wire. And what we wound up doing is we have basically an affection compositing sleepover party for
An
a whole
all hands
weekend.
on deck email was sent out.
Called everyone that we knew, brought them in, didn't leave the office for 72 hours straight, knocked out 109 shots in a couple of days.
Yeah.
But it was bringing back all sorts of memories because I hadn't comped on RVB since seasons 9 and 10. And had kind of moved on to Ruby and dealing with some other stuff, and then to come back to this, all sorts of flashbacks. It was great.
That thing that Joel was talking about, huh?
Yeah, seriously.
I remember walking in and seeing like the war faces on everybody, just like that stare of like, "Don't talk to me now. I'm working. Just get out of the way."
Yeah. Can this wait till after the episode comes out? Thanks.
Yeah.
I think I went up to you and I'm just like, do they need to eat? It's like 3 o'clock. Nobody's eating yet.
That was
Like,
what I was
yeah.
kind of like, because I'm nowhere near as like I can do really like base level After Effects stuff. Shout out to Brian for that badass entrance, and I wish their visors were that shiny in game. It's so gorgeous. But yeah, I remember at one point I was like, "What can I do? Do you want me to get coffee? I'll go get us coffee. Who likes donuts? Apple fritters!" Like that was
the
all
thing,
I
like,
could
you know,
do.
You go back
Even-
into like intern mode and you're just
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
where do I help?
Yeah.
In general, everything is runs fine. And this season 13, thanks to Cohen and Maggie and Carrie and the gang, everything's going so great. But different parts of the pipeline will still get substantially busy relative to the other parts of the pipe at different times. And I just love how supportive everybody is. It's like, okay, animation's having a bit of a week. Let's take care of them, and then eventually it's going to be comp again, and
it'll be
everyone's helping them
machinima.
out. Yeah.
But yeah, this was such a fun episode, and one of the things that I love the way that it turned out was something we talked about on the DVD commentary before is with the bad guys, like armor selection and color choice is always a lot of fun because it's like you're choosing the face of the character.
Yeah.
Like Locus is like still my proudest one. Like the design for Locus was so
no,
much
I
fun
still
to
get the
do.
chills every time I see
like
it on the screen, man.
we talked about in the Alien Isolation sponsor play that we did, where it's like what makes them both creepy is just the lack of eyes. It's just big, menacing.
I'm actually trying to find. There was a question related to this, and it refreshed and I lost it. But it was asking us, are we using Halo 4 or Halo Chief Master Collection to machinimate in? And that goes to the point that you were talking about that we can't use Master Chief Collection because we can't mix and match different pieces of armor. So we can't do like different shoulders and different chest piece, different helmet. It's got to all be one set.
Yeah, which I don't think we have a single character in the show that's like that, unfortunately.
I'll try to
so
find
happy.
the tweet. And,
So happy what?
Oh, just the return of the AIs.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
little Theta.
Yeah. Yeah, that got a
Liam
big-
Kennedy. Liam Kennedy had that question.
That I got a big awe moment as soon as we saw and heard him for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember a frustration because we were finishing up this episode, and then I guess it was it X-Men Days of Future Past?
Yep.
Came out?
It came
and
out
they had
before
the
this
Quicksilver
episode came
Speedster
out.
scene, and everyone was like,
Bernie texted me one night. He goes, out of nowhere. Bernie doesn't text me very often. But he texted me. He goes, have you seen the new X-Men? No, why? What's up? Is it any good? He responds with ... And then in a separate message, you should see it. And I'm like, that means he either loved it and isn't trying to spoil something, or
it's gonna be
something's
a
wrong.
thing.
And I
Yeah.
saw it, and as soon as it got to that scene, I go, oh shit, I know what he's reacting to. And I was telling him, he's like, of course it came out first. Of course it came out first. Like, no, it's fine, it'll be cool. And he's like, yeah, no, it'll be fine, it'll be good.
Yeah.
But he was stressing about it a little bit.
great mind, synchronicity.
Yeah.
Something. But yeah, you guys had conceived it before we were ever aware.
But one of my favorite things about how this turned out was when it comes to getting the look of our antagonists, I think it's always cool to try and make them as monochrome as possible because, and it really comes out in like the 100 text fight in season 10, is seeing just this sea of black suited soldiers against this rainbow of idiots.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing with when it came to choosing the Feds armor. The reason they look like fucking stormtroopers is because we wanted them to kind of look like bad guys and just go with the full on white look. And then when we moved on to the Space Pirates being our main antagonists, they are full-on black. And this room was a lot of fun because there's a lot of high contrast between white and black, and then it's just interspersed with these really bright, vibrant purple and green and blue AI, and I love that shot! Oh, tuck and roll! Ugh.
Broken knee.
Oh, bitch, no you didn't. Fuck you. I think that's our animator Harley giving that line. Shout out to Harley.
Wait, what?
Harley was the one that goes, "You bitch!"
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
she's normally
awesome.
really quiet and nice. So that was a lot of fun. Any other questions we got right now, KT?
Will this live stream be available later? I don't know.
Sarah's giving me a thumbs up, so yes.
Markowitz wants to know what happened to Doc.
Everybody
if you check
wants
out,
to know. But
Yeah, if you check out the
wait,
season
isn't
11.
Doc in it? What are you talking?
What?
What's they talking about? Doc's with them, right?
Doc?
Yeah.
I just remember season 11. There's a bonus that we see Doc in.
Yeah. If
That
you
actually
have a
goes
season
back
11
to
deleted
that
scene.
like 4 a.m. Like this isn't funny. This isn't funny.
It was you.
This isn't
I remember
funny.
you tell me, you were like, you come up to me and you're like, hey, I think I have it. I don't know if it's funny anymore. I don't, like, I've just put so much time into it. I'm like, all right, well, let's take a look at it. I sit down, and the shot that you were working on was photoshopping a beard onto Doc's helmet and having it react.
Yeah.
And you go, I just don't think it looks good. And I go, it looks terrible. It's perfect. that was God damn, that was a fun. Well, we had another. What was the other deleted scenes we had that year? We had Doc and Donut, Double D on the radio.
Oh yeah.
Disappearing Doc. There might have been more. I don't remember. The I do remember actually being really sad about a deleted scene for season 12 was the interrogation of the space pirate in episode 15. In the released version, all we see is Dr. Gray going up to him all cute and adorable in her horrifying way. And then a smash cut to her singing Carmen and cutting this dude up. I'm being eclipsed by something. It's huge. It's no. What is that thing? It's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Do you want to jump in here?
Coming up.
You're just coming back behind.
Hey everybody!
Hey,
Hi,
Matt.
Matt.
Live stream.
Good.
It's a lot of fun.
What you guys doing?
Talking about junk and stuff, reds and blues, deleted scenes.
Taking
Watching
questions
stuff.
on Twitter at RVB13 begins
Hashtag.
at the beginning of that.
I heard you say that not having me in the show was like missing your favorite, being a painter and missing your favorite paint colors. Or
I said a
something.
paintbrush. I don't know about favorite. I'm just
It was
kidding.
like way too artistic a description for anything red versus blue related. I was thinking if the paint was actually made of human blood that he had Sergeant taken from his enemies, then you could maybe describe it that way.
Caboose isn't a brush. Caboose is finger paint.
There you go. That's right. That makes sense.
But yeah, are you excited for our release today, Matt?
I'm super excited for the release today. I don't know if you guys have talked about it much yet, but is that what you guys are talking about? Is
talking about
RVB13?
season
Is that
12
what's going on
right
here?
In terms of
Is that what we're doing?
In terms of episode 1, the only thing that our folks know is that they saw a little sneak peek on the podcast last night. But in general, we're keeping it. We're playing it close to the chest until it's release
There are a
time.
couple awesome reveals that I'm going to spoil right now.
No.
No, there are a couple great reveals in the episode.
We
Like
hinted at
you-
one of them last night, and everyone. I don't think I've actually seen the correct answer
Nope.
yet.
Nope.
Blows my
And
mind.
you like, and then you're like, oh, and then you're like, yeah, oh, like
I
that. That's gonna be the reaction. And then another thing is like the music's really cool.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have talked about that much, but like especially like all the way through to the end, like you get the flavor for the music, and it's like a lot of good stuff. And then like right at the end, there's like some really cool stuff. I'm like super excited about. Honestly.
Yeah, people have gotten a taste of it already in the trailer. That's the first collaboration between Nico and David Levy, who's helping Nico out this year.
And there's the theme after Doc's beard, right? Is it?
Yeah.
That's right.
But a lot of people were asking for that trailer music to come out as a single. Tomorrow's Rooster Teeth's birthday.
We should have a present.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that
A
should
present that
happen.
people pay like 99 cents for.
The first thing that ought to happen is that Apple ought to help us out and get their act together and get that out in time.
We're working to release that single though. For you guys that
Yeah.
were fans of the trailer.
If
So.
it comes
little
out,
taste of the
hooray!
sunshine.
If it doesn't come out, April Fools.
This is a whole elaborate joke.
Holy shit, we're already on episode 18. This was bonkers, man. This was a lot of fun. Just because not only was it a big fight and a lot of action, but we're following multiple different storylines. Like it starts off with where we're just split between the Corsons back in Harmonia and the Reds and Blues here at the Radio Jammer, and then that splits into the Freelancers and the Reds and Blues and the Corsons, and then that splits into Wash and Tucker and and then it was just like it was such a crazy thing to try and do, but the Freckles moment alone, I think, made this episode worth it.
This was also one of the episodes that we split it between you had you and Josh were on this map handling everybody, and then like I don't know why I'm pointing into my camera because I'm looking at the screen over there. And then I was working on with Josh in Armonia in the city with like the battle going on there and stuff. So yeah.
Shout out to season 2, by the way, where I think it was Tucker. Who was it that? No, I think it's Tex pulls a gun on O'Malley, and then Wyoming pulls the gun on Tex.
Whenever anything serious happens, a pistol's involved, right?
Yeah, that was someone pointed that out. Someone on Tumblr said, you realize that whenever someone pulls out a pistol in the show, like shit's about to get real. Like
That's the only serious weapon.
apparently, because when you think about it,
Even the
you're
Halo
always
5
holding the
commercial.
rifle. That's just normal. When you point a pistol, it's like they point out it's like when CT dies and this person dies and Donut is shot. It's always a
Just
pistol.
more personal.
It really
It's
is.
the personal touch.
When Locust kills his first guy in season 11, he switches from a shotgun to a pistol.
Yeah.
It just looks so much more fuck you.
They're even doing that in the Halo 5 commercial that just hit. They just
They did.
It's,
You're welcome, Halo
Nothing means
5.
anything
You mean
until
Halo
right,
copied us?
Isn't there a scene where when Freckles is put into the rifle, Freckles actually pulls out a pistol?
It comes out the front of the barrel.
no one
Season
took
13
it,
spoiler.
no one took that seriously.
So
for
we
some
should add
reason.
that to the DVD.
All right, we'll get right on that.
Holy shit.
Here's a question
I'm scared to
related
say-
to this episode. Lydia wants to know who made the pun for Fed versus New. That was all
That was
Miles.
funny.
Do you remember?
Did I say that?
It was. Do you remember? It
why
was
you
during
come up with
season
the
11
names.
when we were still figuring out the exact conflict and arc for the trilogy. I pulled you and Bernie into a room. And I was like, "All right,
This is sounding sexy.
I
Miles.
figured it out."
They
I
turned
remember,
what
the lights
happened?
down.
I remember drawing on the whiteboard.
I turned down the lights.
I drew on the
Closed the
whiteboard.
blinds.
On the whiteboard, it was like, so they
Little
crashed
Joe
here.
Cocker on the radio.
And there's people that live here, and there are these two mercenaries. But the mercenaries who look like they're opposite, they're working for this, and then it turns out it's Hargrove, and all this and that. And then I go, but the best part is the two warring people are the New Republic and the Federal Army of Chorus. Fed versus New. And y'all just kind of gave me a stare, and we're like, yeah, no, that sounds good.
And there was a cricket in the room.
Well, we were so disappointed because we thought you were going to do the striptease.
The striptease?
After you
Oh.
pulled us into the room, and it was such a sexy moment.
They're like,
Now I
yeah, but
know.
when do we get laid out of this?
Yeah.
The lack of rose
It's like,
petals leading
I
in should
guess
have
he
been.
doesn't love us.
Look,
all I
it's
can
only
take
a
away
physical
from that.
thing, man. I can't tell you how many times we have to have this talk, dude. I think,
We're going to get reported to Human Resources after this.
oh yeah, we have a new HR guy.
Everyone
Gotta butter
knows
up
that
to him.
the voice of Freckles is Shane.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that always blows people's minds.
And Cece from season 11, the female evil robot, is his wife Katie. Which actually he told me when I asked him, I was like, hey, I need a female
There's also
robot.
Emerald.
What's that?
Emerald and Ruby.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
also Emerald and Ruby. It's funny. I told him, hey, I need a female version of Freckles. Do you think you can get me that? He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. And like the next day, he hands me Cece's lines. I go, holy shit, this sounds just like a woman. This is great. He goes, yeah, no problem. And then a few weeks later, I go, hey, I actually need a pickup. Can you get me this? And he goes, oh no, I can't. I go, why can't you? He goes, I didn't actually use those lines. I tried for a while, and then I gave up and just recorded my wife. And that's how Katie made it in RVP 11. I'll say I think this episode, we were talking about shots that were a bitch, like the Freckles one from 11 that just gave us problems. This episode has the shot that I think has the greatest ratio of longest amount of time to capture and shortest amount of time on screen. Is the moment when Jensen shouts, duck! The lieutenants duck, and the feds all shoot one another. That shot lasts like, what, under a second, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
If that. Yeah.
To get that performance right, it took us 45 minutes, I think.
Because I think we had to do that setup 3 times. Because it all has to be timed just right. Everybody has to duck at the same time. Everybody has to pull the trigger at the same time.
And everybody has to die at the same time.
And I think, like, the first time, I forgot to make somebody duck. And it was like, I think Palomo died.
It looked really sad. It was
Yeah.
everyone ducked, and Palomo was just like out of platoon, just ah.
It's like you're machinimating. It's a fine balance where if you have to have tight choreography with like 4 people, it's like, well, is it easier if I just do it myself? You know what I mean? Where it's like I'll just have a controller and a microphone. I'll just have a microphone up my nose, controller at the same time. Or do you try and coordinate people? You know,
What are some of the most complicated shots that you guys ever had to do back in the Chronicles days?
There was one where we had a really complicated head bob, where a guy had to talk for like a whole 5 seconds, and the head had to go up and down
However, did you
the
manage?
entire time the talking was happening. That was mind blowing. I mean, I had to take a nap afterwards, Joel. I don't know about you. I think that probably tops it right there.
I don't know. It's like this is like a funny question, but I have like serious like flashbacks of like
okay.
little incidents.
The one that I remember we got in the biggest fight about
Oh, yeah.
was at the end of season 2 when we wanted to put the tank up on the top of the
God.
base. So that was a spur of the moment. Like we were just, throwing ideas against the wall. Like, oh, it'd be funny if we ended it this way because it had that kind of, somewhat disjointed ending where we were jumping time a little bit and they were telling that story. And then we're like, oh no, we have to have the tank on the base. And Jeff was like in the middle of getting up and walking out. Like he thought we were done for the night. And we said the thing about getting the tank on the base. And I think he turned around and just yelled, fuck you. He was having none of it. And then we had to sweet talk him for like an hour and a half to finally get him to come back and machinimate with us for a while.
And it's like one of the most dangerous things that can happen to you in machinima is like something will happen where something accidental happens. I thought I could be wrong on this, but it was like maybe it was a warthog, but it's like something ended up on top of the base, just whatever. It's like, oh, let's just use that, and you shoot it, and then that asset falls off the top. And it's like you can't get it back to that position. Something accidental happens that you didn't realize at the time is impossible to recreate.
Yeah.
That's something in machinima where it's like if you're going to do something, you have to know it's recreatable.
Yeah.
And it's like and if you discover that it's like, oh, this isn't recreatable, it's like, oh, well, now either we've lost all this footage we've shot, or we've just that's the worst thing.
Or just have to do something else. Probably like the most legit, complicated thing we did was the beginning of season 6.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
about.
about.
And there's a big shot that happens where the camera moves up and there's like a ton of characters and vehicles. and
25
everything
dudes on screen.
Tons. I don't even, I mean, a lot. And it was a composite shot, like where we had several takes and we put them all together and like sliced them together and put it together. But it was also, we were on a bunch of, Xbox System Link at the time, like you do all the time.
Yeah.
But back then we were at the old office and we didn't have enough room for everybody to be in one room. So we had Eddie and the Smoothview guys were there and they helped us with that. And they were in another room. So we were like yelling to them like, okay, turn your guys left.
We did that in 10 with the flyaway shot.
Yeah, I was like down in the corner of the studio, and you were upstairs,
right outside Matt's office.
As far away as you could get in the old studio from each other.
We were
which is the worst when you're trying to work together on the same shot.
We just ran. We didn't have space for the second machinima station up outside your office, so I had him on speakerphone. And we were like, all right, let's move. Because we were flying fucking helicopters.
3 Hornets.
Which, guess what? That fucking sucks. And, oh, God. Yeah, that was a thing. 10 had crazy stuff, too. Like, the 100 text fight was... I was working on that by myself one night. And I needed to shut down a bunch of Texas. And the only way to do that was to turn off all the Xboxes at the same time. But it looked weak if they just fell without anything happening. So I had some Tupperware from like deviled eggs that Aaron had made or something. I used the lid and I put that on top of all the controllers and did this to make them all go and then I was like and hit. And I went back and
that's why all our controllers smelled like rotten eggs for the next 2 months. Damn you, Miles.
It's a musky scent. Oh, Felix, you need to shut your fucking mouth. This was a fun bit too. Was the reveal of not only getting to bring back the helmet cam gag, but actually seeing that Tucker and Epsilon putting their differences aside was like a crucial thing for them to work together and for Epsilon to leave Carolina for once.
Miles, we have a throwback to episode 11. Brian Smith wants to know, is Theta still voiced by Bernie's son?
If Theta were to return this season, then yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, but in episode 11 of season 12, the one.
Yeah. That's JD, I think.
Yeah, but was it Bernie's other son who did him before?
I don't remember actually. I don't know.
Matt?
No, I think it's always been JD.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
When you hear Bernie come running.
It might have been Shane. Was it ever Shane?
Yeah.
It's weird because like
Is it Shane's wife?
it's weird because as long as Shane has worked here and it's anyone in the company, he's sort of famous for just responding to emails.
Yeah.
But I think I've only actually heard him speak one time.
He's
I've heard him
very
speak
quiet.
more in like RVB than I have him
In
as a
real life.
person.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, he's like your best friend. Oh, that's
He's the
that's weird to
master of
think
the
about,
reply
actually.
all button.
Yeah, in RVB land, you and Shane are inseparable.
We are completely inseparable.
I mean, Gray just beats the shit out of.
I'm
Shannon
disappointed we
McCormick.
never had a Facebox Freckles. Remember Shane's Facebox series that
Yeah.
he made? Those are so funny and cool, and we need a Freckles one.
Shane's Facebook
I demand it.
series.
Somebody make a petition to Shane right now. Get on
It'd be a
this.
good addition for the DVD.
It would. I think Shane's Facebook series is a great great way to kind of see what Shane is like in person. It's really funny and really weird, but you love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What's the most amount of controllers you've ever had?
Shit.
What's the most amount of Xboxes?
I mean, 8.
Yeah.
We use all of them. We've used all of them.
Say right. I mean, he's still used. You know,
And the longest you've left them on?
You guys leave them on forever, and it gives me a heart attack. I'm afraid I'm going to
Didn't
come
you
in
hear Joel earlier? We have to.
You already do leave them on for weeks,
I have
and I'm
get-
always
no,
afraid
I-
I'm going to come in and they're just going to be melted.
Yeah.
How is it that like I can own my own Xbox 360 and it can suffer from overheat problems, but those motherfuckers are running strong all the time?
What-
We got the best ones apparently. Microsoft must have hooked us up with their super Xbox 360.
Absolutely, that happened.
We didn't just go buy them at a store one day.
If you're
We
making,
actually we have one of our Xboxes. It was we gave it to you. One of the Xboxes is refurbished, and it looks just like a normal black 360 Elite, but it's very clearly used to be a special Gears of War edition Xbox because it's one of those ones where when you hit-
I bought that.
I don't know.
I think that was mine.
It was
I want it back.
whenever you turn it on, it's supposed to play like the Gears theme, that da 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 da.
Yeah.
But because it's refurbished and old and shit, it sounds fucking terrible. Just every time you turn it on, it sounds terrible.
it's brave. I mean, that's brave. It's like, here we have hours and hours and hours of work dependent upon, and if this thing fails, that's brave to use that.
Yeah. Oh, and Felix fucked himself over. Yay, good guys win. Woo. Dude, shout out to Lindsay, by the way, who is the best Vanessa Kimball that there could ever be. She, the way she gets into character is she watches scenes where Maximus gives speeches in Gladiator. She watches
Really?
just those scenes on YouTube before she goes into the booth.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
great. It's a great idea.
So is that her warm-up
She's
line? Are you not
professional.
entertained? Is that
Yeah,
her
my
warm-up
favorite
line?
thing to do whenever I record Lindsay is just to have her say really casual things in the Kimball voice. And one of them made it onto our bloopers last year, right? Like we were laughing and go, "What's the strangest thing you could ever have Kimball say?" And she takes 2 seconds. She goes, "Do you have a tampon I can borrow?" That's like we got a bunch of good ones this season that'll
That's only
probably be on the
series
DVD
with
too.
Kimball. She's trying to make other like female friends, and she just doesn't know how to interact.
Man, periods, am I right?
Now if we can get
Hashtag girl
Lindsay to say
stuff.
that.
I love Lindsay. And that was another example of just like funny stuff in the background where everybody's focused and trained on making sure the mercenaries don't escape, and then Caboose is like, "What the fuck was that? A bird?"
I
Oh, that was
noticed, like
awesome.
in the first scene where he's shooting at the door or whatever, and you never quite see the far wall, but it looked like he spelled out caboose.
He did.
Yeah, but
It's
which
it's
I
on
thought
the
was a
back.
nice touch because you never actually, you just see a skim of the wall. You never show the wall. I was like, well, somebody put some work in there.
You see it barely. You see
Yeah.
it
You
barely
see-
in one
barely
shot.
see it.
It's yeah. Oh, this was a fun break between episodes when we released it because everyone essentially went, are Tucker and Wash dead? Because we didn't show what happened and people just lost their goddamn mind. And
was like the end of
It's
season
hard,
11.
like directorially, if you show a shot from overhead where the camera is slowly pulling away, that's like telling the viewer, "How these guys are dead."
That's the first thing they
We had-
teach you at director school,
we
actually.
had to go back and add in some groans to Wash when he's shown on the floor because, like, that was a dead Spartan in the game. And then we're
Yeah.
watching it, I realized, I go, oh, it definitely looks like he's dead.
He's
we should
super
get
dead.
Shannon to go like, ooh. So we had to throw that in there.
Did we have the same problem in 11 when it was Wash and Sarge? Well, not so much Wash.
No,
'cause
we just
seen
said
him get
fuck
back
it. We
up,
made him
but-
look dead.
Yeah,
Like,
Sarge was just gone.
that was such a fun moment, like because season 11 was the return to the Blood Gulch style of things, and it had been primarily comedic up to that point. That was, I think, because at that point in the time, like Ruby was just getting started, and like we were moving on to a lot bigger things, and coming off of RVB 10, a bunch of people were like, "Oh, okay, I guess you're gonna keep doing Red versus Blue." Well, I'll still watch it. I think episode 18 of season 11 was the moment where everyone went, "Oh, what the fuck." Because you have this great big battle, and then the good guys lose. We fucking shoot Sarge in the side, and he falls down and looks dead as shit. Like that's still one of my favorite episodes that we've ever had the pleasure of working on.
yeah, you've been putting the characters to the ringer. last couple of years.
Yeah, we really did just beat the shit out of him. That was that was a lot of fun. So, do we only have one left?
Was that?
Yeah, I think we're on to the season 12 finale.
Episode 19.
You know who we are. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll it.
Let's go. Yeah, we're good.
Oh
I was talking to Tyler over
that's
there.
right.
Tyler like waits for me. He's our floor manager to like give the go ahead so we can play the next episode.
I've never seen like organization out here before. This is really.
Whenever I'm having a rough day, I just know that adding Palomo to a scene will make it better. And then Carrie in the booth is always great too. Whenever he has to do sound effect stuff.
During this part, there is an email sound effect that on your computer of Vin Diesel, and while we were recording this, that sound effect goes off.
No.
You want to tell the audience? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Is it actually in here? What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
what you're
so-
talking about. I know. No, I thought he was. I was confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now, I have on my computer. Whenever I get an email, it's a clip from the Fast and the Furious trailer where Vin Diesel goes, "But not today." And the reason that's my email thing is because when we were in crunch for this, Carrie went out and bought the entire Fast and Furious series on Blu-ray,
And we watched it.
all of them. And we just got it was one of those things where when you're in crunch you just fixate on something and it's just hilarious. Like we had the Vladimir Putin video and that, and before that it was Epic Sax Guy for season 10 and
Totoro
Fast and
review.
Furious. But before it was changed to that, it was a sound clip from a recording that we had done with Carrie where he didn't think we were rolling and he was trying to fuck with me because I was just having a day. And he goes right up to the mic and goes, and he's just
Yeah,
like
that was more intense than that.
cringy, like, and that didn't do it
Practicing his
justice.
orgasm sounds.
It was the most like powerful orgasm sound I'd ever heard, and I immediately just stopped it and started typing. He goes, and he's laughing. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I am saving that to my desktop." And the reason that it is no longer that sound effect is because one Monday morning during our company meeting, it went off. And everyone, you know how you normally will stand at the coffee machine and then you have everyone out in the break room and then there's a few people that hang back? Everybody that hung back looked over at my computer and then looked at me. And I was like, "I'll be right back."
I think I heard that. I just assumed that somebody was having such a positive reaction to whatever I was talking about that just naturally occurred. You've taken a little piece of my ego away. Frankly, Miles.
You should like modulate it a little bit and just use it as like a reload sound effect or like,
Use it for a laser sound.
Same time. So yeah, exactly.
I think Paloma actually needs to make this sound at some point.
Well, when we go in, I'll tell him that we're getting efforts, and I'll
Whenever he
keep
gets
directing
hit.
him until he's going,
Yeah.
"This is starting to sound like sex." I'll be like, No, you're in a lot of pain."
No, but I mean, is that weird that someone? I mean, at this point, hasn't everybody in this company been asked to go into the sound booth and make sex noises?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That's
Yeah.
every time we do efforts. Is it poop or
Poop or
is it
sex?
sex?
Are
What
they,
does
are
it
they
sound like?
constipated or are they orgasming? Is the
Yeah, it's
Or
either,
they're
it's
just
either
thinking,
what
the
does it
same
sound
time.
like? Or yeah.
or that's the fun game that we play. Sometimes it's both, and those are keepers.
And then you have to clean up the booth afterwards.
Gross. Colonel Sarge. Oh God, that was
Makes me
I think
wanna
that
have
was your
chicken.
idea, Matt, and I'm so glad that
I've wanted a promotion for 11 years.
CEO wasn't good enough.
I finally got promoted to colonel. I'm so happy.
The fact that it is officially labeled, you're officially labeled as Colonel Sarge in the credits was what made me really smile.
Is that like on IMDb now? Has anybody
It needs to
updated
be.
the
Look at you,
Sarge
internet.
character to Colonel Sarge on IMDb?
Oh man, whenever there's a serious conversation, go down to the fucking lake. That was what we realized
Oh,
last
right,
year.
yeah.
Oh man, this is a pretty serious beat. Let's put him by the lake. Oh, someone's doubting their self-confidence. Let's put him by the lake. We're about to have a crazy revelation. Lake.
It's like a
Hey,
Cialis
Miles,
commercial.
are we going back to the lake this season?
Can we get two bathtubs?
Come out there,
Tucker
characters
and
just- anytime
Epsilon, like,
need to
they
talk
get
through,
each be in a bathtub?
just sit in the bathtubs and like talk through their feelings.
No, I think we may retire the lake. Who knows? We'll see. You never know what'll happen in season 13.
I have a dumb question, and I can't. At this point, I honestly can't remember. Is that actually a corporation that's in the game?
No, that was something that you came up with, Matt.
Yeah, I wanted to have a corporation in
That's right.
Season 9 or
Yep,
season 10?
season 9 is the first time.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good one because it sounded like a lot of other Halo stuff, but it was not one that had been used, and also it's like the thing itself is creepy. You know, like the guy, you know, like you pay him
It's the boatman.
the
for River
boatman.
Styx, yeah.
The river Styx, and like you have to, you know, put the money on the eyes and stuff, and it's just like it's creepy.
It's super creepy, and it fit in. Yeah, it worked. It ended up working perfectly.
Do we have
for-
we have t-shirts for that?
I don't know.
think
If you
we
want
should.
T-shirts,
I
tweet
used to
John
have
Reisinger and
I
Archie
used to have
Silver.
that mug. What happened to my mug? Did I give
It's
you my
on
mug?
my desk.
mug, right?
I use it to hold the machinima pens. It seemed fitting. We tweeted a picture of us holding that mug before
Yeah.
this episode went out. Because we're assholes like that. And everyone was like, they knew! Oh, it was right here in front of us the whole time! I remember we recorded commentary for this season, and there's a scene where Control's talking to the Mercs, and he says, I could further chastise you, or something like that. And Bernie goes, that's a great nod, a great kind of hint that it's the chairman, with the way that you spelled chastise there, you went the British route. And I go, yeah, that was super intentional. I definitely didn't just Google how to spell. Oh, and that was the first one that came
You
up.
gotta quit letting Gavin be your spell checker.
That, by the way, that the text on the side of that newspaper clipping, it totally says stuff. I think we blurred it to the point where you probably can't read it, but we wrote out like this whole thing. On
We were
that.
trying to figure out what we should put there, and before we had anything there, I just put wall of text over and over
Yeah,
again.
it just said wall of text, wall of text, wall of text, wall of text. I think. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna. If anybody is ever able to figure out what that says, props to you.
It just says
everyone runs
Caboose
the
over and
Blu-rays.
over again. Right?
There you go.
Make a T-shirt out of that.
Colonel Sarge was here.
Oh man, look at that piece of shit. He's so evil and so wonderfully British.
How did we do the modeling for him?
I think
we have
Caesar
Jack
made
come in?
him.
Or did he just do it off of pictures of Jack?
Yeah, Jack sent us a lot of references, and then Caesar took some artistic liberties.
So,
and...
for those who don't know who Jack Lee is, he's been in a few of our shorts
Yeah.
and other things, so you can see what the real actor looks like if you want to check him out.
Father's Day. He's in Catch.
He's in Catch, and he's in what's the one that we did?
Yeah, the
The button,
the
right?
button, the
Is that
button,
right?
yeah.
The button. And I want to say he's done another one too
and he obviously has been playing this character.
for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you want to see what he actually looks like compared to the model, you check those shorts out.
To me, it's creepy because it's like I mean they definitely got the essence of.
Yep.
And Jack's he's great.
The one thing that's
Yeah.
totally different is that Jack always wears like a hula shirt.
Yeah.
He's in the booth
Yeah, that's right.
recording that like stodgy British accent with a hula shirt on.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he gets out of the booth, he's like, "Oh, fancy a Corona? What about you, chaps?"
The first time he sent us lines, he recorded at his own studio at home, and he goes, we had him on the phone. He goes, "Oh, sorry, hold on. Let me make sure the chickens are quiet." I was like, what the what? He's such a crazy dude. And you know that was the end of season 12 was another one of those moments that was really exciting to work towards, knowing that we wanted to end it with a dear chairman, but instead of from Leonard Church, it's from Epsilon Church, who is much more profane in his delivery. But that was that's season 12. I guess we can hang around and talk a little bit more while the credits go. What time are we at?
Yeah, we're
it's
20
almost
minutes
time.
out from
Yeah.
the episode hitting. So,
It's almost time.
any teases? Anything you want to? Any ideas you want to?
All I want to say is to everybody that has worked on this season thus far and is still continuing to work on it, if you're watching right now, thank you so much.
Yay.
I tweeted about it a while back saying that, we've assembled the Avengers when we all went to Torchies that day. But every day that goes by feels more and more like the Avengers. Like,
Oh my God, the
we
first
have
day
our
of-
hero. They are superheroes. They're
They have
nothing
sh-
short of superheroes.
They have shawarma at Torchies now?
We're working on getting added.
It's on the secret menu.
Oh, okay.
Right near the Ace
Yeah,
of Spades. But
You guys got a good crew.
it's an amazing crew.
Yeah,
It's
they're
a
rock
really good
solid,
crew.
man. Everyone's doing
Except that
just
one guy.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
like
fuck
him.
him.
But no, it's a really good team. They've been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for people to see episode 1, but I think stuff that's coming later in the season is going to be crazy. There's some
Yeah.
stuff that Shane has done
Yeah.
for later that you're like, what?
Yeah.
So it's going to be cool.
We've taken the ambitious road with this season, and we'll see whether or not it kills us. But it'll be worth it no matter what happens.
Does people know where to go to watch 13? Have you guys told everybody? Go to the website.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's roosterteeth.com.
Sponsor launch.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
What? 30 minutes.
In about 20
About
minutes,
20,
it will be
yeah.
up for sponsors.
It'll be up for the public at 5 p.m. Wednesday, April
Yes.
1st, Rooster Teeth's birthday.
And then
Happy
Sorry,
birthday,
YouTube.
everybody!
Yeah, 5 p.m. Central.
One day early.
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
And
to
that'll
us.
be the thing. Oh, yes, but that's just special for this week, though, because of the birthday. It's lining up with the birthday. It's only a few days wait until episode 2. Episode 2 will be
that'll-
available Sunday evening for sponsors and Monday for the public.
Yeah,
So,
works out really nice.
yeah.
Any last thoughts?
There's some sweet RV merch that's about to hit the store too.
Oh yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Any last thoughts on Red vs. Blue or anything in general? Kyle.
I hope you guys like it. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your questions. Like, a lot of them contain potential spoilers, so I didn't want to ask them. But yeah, no, it's gonna be great. You guys are gonna love it.
Yay.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
Matt, Joel.
Congratulations to you guys.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yes,
you.
congratulations to me. Of course. No, congratulations to Miles and the whole crew. It's awesome. This is gonna be. It's such a cool season. I haven't been this excited about a season in a long time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to people's reactions. It feels totally different and totally familiar at the same time. Lots of good jokes. I think people are gonna love. I keep talking and want to say stuff, so I'm not gonna say anything anymore. Lots of jokes that you're gonna love with characters that you love, and people getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
And or other regions.
Yeah.
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 And Joel screams some.
Holy shit.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah. I mean, for those of you guys watching, we'll be putting up the episode in about 15 minutes for sponsors. Feel free to go back and watch as many episodes of Red vs. Blue anytime at roosterteeth.com or at the new Red vs. Blue YouTube channel that you're on right now that you can totally subscribe to.
Subscribe,
Yeah, because
please.
we will be putting up season 13 episodes. What's our release schedule for YouTube this season?
It will come out on YouTube at some point.
All right.
Go to roosterteeth.com
Well
to
known
watch
to
it.
be announced.
So thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Later.